If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I'll fall asleep when I'm home. I was just so far from here, focused on my own way, with never looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do, there was nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare. But when I stopped to see through light, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now, to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among other. I can try. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have a job to find. And if I work tonight, if I'm so tired tonight, I fall asleep when I'm home. When I'm no way to go, no one that can see through that side of the light. I can see my life is crap, I have to see them too. I just live into my world, far from the pain, the feel. Was out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the start of hell. But when I stop to see through light, begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now, to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among us.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Locker Room Breakdown. I am OMD. I am joined tonight by Chris Best, who is filling in for Bubba Duke because Bubba Duke is away working the shoot job. And in a rare occurrence, I am joined by the right hand of the Locker Room, the Bulkster. How we doing, Bulkster?
Doing pretty good. Living the dream.
Aren't we all? Mr. Best, yourself.
Oh, just I'm in like food heaven because of what I'm eating for my dinner tonight.
Right.
Shredded chicken sliders with smoked cheddar for cheese. I mean, how can you go wrong with smoked cheddar, right?
Right. So we do have a lot to cover here tonight, including a huge story that happened last week on Raw that caught us all off guard. So let's jump into the Raw review from last week. And starting off, we had the Judgment Day, Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeating Damage Control in a women's tag match.
I wish I could say I remember most of this match, but I really don't. But at the same time, I understand why they went the way they did. I mean, coming out of the women's war games, you kind of needed Liv and Raquel to get that win back after suffering the loss at war games. You also needed to reaffirm the dominance that the Judgment Day are supposed to be having on the Raw roster. So by having them two take the win, and especially with what's going to happen tonight, you kind of needed that momentum for Raquel and Liv coming out of this match.
Right. Hulkster.
Yeah, I mean, one thing was the first hour was pretty much commercial free, so they had a lot of time to use for this match. Where it's solid. I don't know if they chose the right team to win. I mean, of course, you heels have to win occasionally, but with Raquel and Liv being in war games and only Io being in the war games and Kyrie kind of, was fresh.
Right.
They should have had some kind of advantage of, she's not beat down, so she could, beat. But they ended up losing. It was an okay match. I would say 3 out of 5 stars.
Okay. Like with this match, and we've got it coming up this coming Saturday at Saturday night's main event. We're getting Io Sky versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. So even though Io's team won at War Games, I think she needed that momentum a little bit more. Otherwise, I'm looking at this match coming up for Saturday as a token title match, just for the sake of getting Liv to defend the belt.
I'll cover that part later for what you're saying right now.
At the same time, like, I love the fact that Liv and Raquel got that win to reestablish Judgment Day as this dominant faction. And they've also partially been in the hunt for those women's tag team titles as well. So I think you should have done this match, maybe ended it in a double count out, double DQ, something with shenanigans on the outside, as opposed to that way everybody is looking strong, as opposed to where I see it going. Next up, we had our first of the Women's Intercontinental Championship matches, with Dakota Kai defeating Shayna Baszler and Katana Chance in the first round triple threat.
This was a fantastic match. I actually remember this match very well. And it just made you believe that any one of those three women could have had the chance. But Katana Chance, the finish there was a little bit on the dumb side, as it were. Because you had Katana Chance do her 450 or whatever it is she does off the top rope without realizing that Dakota Kai was still on her feet, essentially. And right. Dakota Kai catches her and does her eat defeat finisher.
Right.
If I were Katana Chance, I would have taken Dakota out and then went for my finisher.
I thought it was Shayna that took the pin last week.
Oh yeah, she took the eat defeat because and then Dakota took pinned Shayna.
Okay,
that's what had happened, because as soon as Katana got up from that, you see Dakota run in and give her that maneuver, and then boom, it's the end.
Yeah. Hulkster.
Yeah, I think Dakota was who I think was a good pick to win the match. I feel that we might start seeing her distancing herself from Damage Control by a little bit to be in this tournament. I mean, she even came out to her own music. She didn't come out to Damage Control. She came out to her own music.
Mm-hmm.
So she might start distancing herself, when she comes out solo, show that she's a good singles competitor. I think we're going to get a lot of good singles matches, triple threat matches with these women going for this IC belt. Mm-hmm. Same with the US belt, but I think, overall, this is great for the women's division to showcase them. I mean, it might get to the point where they got to actually expedite people from NXT to fill the roster to make more opportunities for these belts.
Okay.
But yeah, Io Sky's also been coming out to her own music as well. So,
true.
Yeah. So, are we starting to see maybe Damage Control distancing themselves from the Damage Control name and the Damage Control brand, so to speak?
I don't think they would be distant. I think they would be distancing themselves when they have their own feuds, but then coming together if their feuds, unite against them, as it were.
And maybe they're just trying something new. Like maybe they're just going to do hey, let's see how this thing works with. If they come out as a group, we'll do Damage Control. But if they come out as solo, they'll have their own individual music that people know from either NXT or from. We're just going to give them an entrance fee, and they will get accustomed to. Oh, this is who this person's music is. But if they come out as a group, this theme too.
Yeah,
Right.
it could very well be like DX, right? Triple H had used the DX theme. X-Pac had his own theme, and the New Age Outlaws had their own theme.
Yeah.
Right.
As did China, actually, when she reunited with DX. So yeah, everybody had their own theme, but whenever there was, when all of DX had a problem, they all united to fight the corporation, the Ministry of Darkness, whoever it was,
Right. I, for one, I love this match as well. And yes, everybody knows I am a huge Dakota Kai fan. I have her pegged to go to the finals, so I couldn't be happier with the result.
I mean, you and I picked her last week, so
yeah. But yeah, you're right, Bess. The finish left a lot to be desired.
It was a little bit on the strange side,
Yeah. But we also saw then Katana Chance getting upset after the show on Raw Talk.
That's right, we did too. And again, like I've been saying for both the women's U.S. title tournaments and the Intercontinental title tournaments, these tournaments are actually showcasing just who could be possible contenders for those titles. Because let's say Caden Carter and Katana Chance are done as a tag team. Who's to say that Katana Chance doesn't become a number one contender somewhere down the road, or even Caden Carter for that matter?
Right. Right. Then we had something that was started off with an interesting segment in the back that led to Gunther, our world heavyweight champion, facing Dominic Mysterio one-on-one in a non-title match. And what was a match I don't think was as good as the first time they faced off with Gunther was the Intercontinental Champion.
But it still was fantastic.
It was.
I mean, Dominic is just week in, week out proving why he deserves to be on that roster. Why it was a smart move to take him away from his dad. Why he's he's starting to shed the Eddie Guerrero stuff now. I'm noticing, and just coming into his own and doing his own thing, and I'm liking it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if he's going away from the Eddie Guerrero thing. I like the whole thing on, I mean, until he gets rid of the mullet and the mannerisms and stuff like that. I mean, he can't get away from it. It's in his blood. It's in his family and his heritage, and people don't mind it. I mean, yes, we boo or they boo, but heck, they were cheering him. They were rooting for him at one point, chanting "Dirty Dom."
Yeah, right? The crowd was behind Dom last week. It was interesting.
It was so interesting. So I don't think they need to do with it. I mean, just double down. People like reminiscing Eddie Guerrero. People like reminiscing Rey Mysterio. They love that they now, when Dom turns full face, it'll be tremendous.
Oh.
And he can capitalize on all the mannerisms and stuff like that and not be like you're just a copycat, because he does put his own flair on it. He talks different than Eddie, he talks different than Ray. He does his own thing, but he brings back a lot of that stuff that we loved watching them two old wrestlers that are related to him. And, the whole, was Eddie his dad? That's always going to be a background,
Right.
And it's so cool to just live in kayfabe, just live in, wow. So I thought that match was really good. I did see some clips of that, and did hear them chanting for him. So it's interesting because Gunther's full. I mean, people are starting to turn on Gunther. They like him, but they boo at him too.
Yeah. Gunther has hit that in between stage, I think now. Is he a heel? Is he a face? Are you going to book him as a face in certain matches and then still have him use heel qualities? For me, this match was a little bit closer, felt more closer to a squash than anything. Dom did get in some offense, but nowhere near what I had expected in a match of what was supposed to be this caliber. For me, this match was, I don't want to use the term letdown. This was a little lackluster for me. But again, we didn't have a Ludwig Kaiser getting involved because he was involved in his own stuff. We saw Finn Balor get involved after the match was over and really starting to run Dom down as he has been the rest of the Judgment Day.
Yeah, and that was the whole story of the match too, because Finn's looking for a championship match against Gunther. And correct me if I'm wrong, but no, he doesn't have it this Saturday, does he?
Yes, he does.
Okay. So that's what he was doing it for, because I do remember it was announced last week, now that I think more about it.
And I think the fan days wants more carnage, because during the spot where he gave him 2 coup de grace, fans were chanting one more time, even though he's the bad guy. One more time, just keep on doing it.
Right. The part that bugged.
The thing with Finn Balor is he's great as a heel. He's awesome at doing it, but a lot of people want to cheer him at the same time because he's just that good in the ring, you know?
Absolutely. The issue I have with the coup de grace, and I didn't mind the aftermatch shenanigans, it was you actually went for a third one, and Gunther was on his side, so he came down on Gunther's ribs on the side as opposed to on the chest. And that to me was a little bit reckless. I don't know, maybe Gunther was turning to roll over when Balor was coming off the rope for that, which then it's on Gunther, but still very dangerous spot for me.
It could be something simple, like Gunther forgot that there was supposed to be a third one.
Right.
Or he was they played it off as Gunther was maybe trying to escape but still got caught in it.
Right.
Probably said his stomach hurt. Right on my side.
Okay, next up we had R-Truth defeating Pete Dunne in our comedy match of the night, so to speak.
Yeah, this was actually a really fun match to watch, but at the same time, I thought Pete Dunne was going to take the win in this one. I really did. I'm actually happy to see R-Truth taking the win because it feels like he doesn't take very many wins these days.
Right.
Unfortunately, it was at the expense of Pete Dunne, who I kind of want to see move up the roster a little bit.
I have a feeling he's hit a wall. He's kind of like, I don't know. He needs to. They has to have something else. I mean, he's having a good few. I mean, like I said, as long as you're on the show, you're doing what needs to be done. I mean, regardless of where you're at on the show, you're being showcased. So he's not failing. He's not hitting a wall. He's on TV regularly. I just think, yes, if we want to see him do something more serious, yeah, but he did have a serious time just not too long ago, so he's now like doing a little, as long as he doesn't stay with the comedy stuff forever and it moves. But it's okay to do this feud with R-Truth. Give R-Truth some time. The fans love it. Chanting out Butch and that kind of stuff. So they're giving fans what they want. Pete Dunne's getting paid. He's fine.
Yeah, and Pete Dunne's getting the heat that he needs. So,
yep.
But I'm ready for him to go after the Intercontinental title. So
I am with you 100% best. I want to see guys like Pete Dunne, Ludwig Kaiser, and some other guys who you wouldn't typically see in those spots, which we did see with Ludwig at Survivor Series. But we start needing to reestablish the Intercontinental title. To me, that's sort of been that transitional championship this year. So what I want to see is start getting some new guys in there to challenge a Braun Breaker, and let's see if he can put more credibility onto his reign and back onto the title, or if it's just going to continue to be transitional.
well, if you really think about it, the Intercontinental title has always been a transitional belt because it's always that title that's that the wrestler would win before they go on to fight for the WWE or the World Heavyweight title.
Right. But, I mean, and I've alluded to this last week, is I don't think Sami Zayn's reign was long enough after winning the Intercontinental title at Mania. Then we had Braun, who held it for a couple of months before losing it to Jey Uso, who held it for a month before losing it back.
Yeah, and in Jey Uso's case, that kind of made sense. They needed to get the belt off him. They shouldn't have put the belt on him in the first place, but they needed to get the belt off him so that he could do the stuff with the bloodline.
Right.
Dan's shape.
So I don't want to see it being that quickly transitioned. I'm all for 6 to 9 month title reigns. I don't need a 2, 3, 4, 5 year reign. Gunther was a prime example of the perfect reign for the Intercontinental title. I realized he was closing in on 2 years, but that was ideal.
Yeah, and his reign started off like really slow. Like it was like, okay, Gunther's got the belt. Who cares? You know?
Yeah.
But then he made you care for the title. And now we're at that point where we do care about the title, you know?
See, and for me, I'm not, because it's just changing hands again way too quickly. So I want to see some of these guys get up there and maybe have that run. This match was something else I called was, watch, Pete Dunne's going to get distracted and Truth is going to get the quick pin roll up.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
that's
forget what
something we've grown to see out of R-Truth in a lot of his matches.
Yeah. Pulling the win out of nowhere because, let's face it, he's the current version of Santino Marella, where he gets the big wins, but we don't expect him to get the big wins.
Right. Right. I am going to say good evening to Ellie here in our chat. Thank you for watching. We see you're on Twitch, so thank you for the view. Thank you. Make sure you subscribe to us, like us, all of that. We are on YouTube as well. In our main event, we had Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn in what was a barn burner of a match.
I mean, we always say this every week, but would you expect any less out of these two men?
Right.
What a match. Just, oh my God, this should have been, if they ever put this on a PLE, take my money. Take my money. I will buy the ticket and go sit front row and watch these guys fight.
Right?
Match was decent. It was good. I mean, there was a lot of controversy around it because of Jay being hit backstage, and the whole thing with Sami thought Seth did it, was convinced himself that Seth is the one that hit Jay back there and hurt him.
Yeah, and I don't think it was Seth at all.
No, I don't think it was either.
I can guarantee you it was the man who made the interference towards the end.
Yes.
And We're talking about the return of Drew McIntyre.
Yes. Now, let's be honest too, because this match came about with Seth Rollins interrupting a CM Punk promo to open the show.
Right.
And basically saying, you know, I want this. You've been weighing on my mind for 6 months. And Sami Zayn coming out there to try and play peacemaker over the bloodline situation, which now you're just mixing more and more fuel into this. Which, you know, you really didn't need to have Sami come out in that instance, but I loved where it went. I mean, as you said, like, put this match on a PLE and take my money.
Yeah. I'm on the opposite end because I understand Sammy's frustration for why he came out and did. Because in that promo, he basically came out and defended Punk for what Punk had chosen to do. Punk, of course, choosing to team with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline to, not help Roman, but help Paul Heyman. So Sami Zayn coming out and making that defense in Punk's favor makes a lot of sense because of the fact that it was Sami Zayn over the last couple of weeks that tried to convince Seth Rollins to do it, but Seth kept saying no. And of course, this would frustrate you if you kept on doing that, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so Sami was frustrated encountering Seth with that, you know?
Oh, I completely understand where it came from. I just, for me, it was maybe a little bit of oversaturation. Because even Sami's saying, I didn't want to team with Punk.
Mm-hmm.
You left me no choice. Essentially blaming Seth. Now, are we starting to see as a result of that, and even into this match, are we going to start seeing maybe that potential heel turn again from Seth?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see more tonight, possibly.
Yeah. Gotta see what, because people keep on saying Punk's gonna turn heel if they have a match, but I don't know. I think Punk's too much of a fan favorite.
Yeah, I think Punk's at that point in his career where turning him heel just wouldn't make any sense, you know?
No.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be, if it's going to be a heel turn, it's got to be an organic one like it was 10 years ago when he was the champion holding the belt and then admitted he was a Paul Heyman guy, and then all of a sudden there he is with Paul Heyman, and it just sort of happened fluidly as opposed to a couple of quick actions and, okay, now I'm a heel.
Well, he also took out The Rock when he turned heel there too, and expressed his frustrations because he was not in the, or not, he knew he wasn't going to be in the WrestleMania 29 main event that year.
Right. Thank God he took out The Rock. And now to the segment of the night last week where all of us were thrown for a massive swerve, celebrating 10 years of the New Day. Bulkster, let's start with you on this one.
That was a great segment. I didn't see that coming. I mean, I knew they were going to try to break them up. They've been teasing that for a while. I didn't know if that Big E would come out or not come out. I was hoping he would because I figured it was going to be something of this line, but did not see Kofi agreeing with Xavier with, like, you know, he was listening to Xavier, you know, do his thing about Big E. You know, you left us. And something clicked in Kofi's like, yeah, he did leave us. Why are we fighting? It's all Big E's fault. And, you know, they pushed the blame on Big E. And that was a complete shock and just tore him down. And not only just there, I mean, it's going now on social media, them tearing him down. And then Big E's girlfriend's getting involved in the social media, the comments with Xavier, which are just hilarious.
Yeah, especially with when she said I was planning to have you guys over for the holidays. That's out the door now.
Right?
But yeah, holy Christ. I've watched the segment about 3 times this week and I feel for Biggie. Like I felt so bad for him. Just wow. I gotta say,
I hope he's actually. I'm hoping that they're teasing us and he's actually cleared, and he'll return.
yeah, see, Bulkster, that's the vibe I got too, because Xavier Woods in that promo kept on stating, "You're not cleared. You'll never be cleared." Blah blah blah, and it sounded kind of like the same thing. I want to say maybe the Miz had said that about Daniel Bryan. You'll never be cleared. You'll never be cleared. And then like 3-4 months later, Daniel Bryan comes out and says, "I'm cleared."
Yeah,
Right?
and then him and get a new tag team partner. That'd be cool.
But I gotta say, I'm glad that this worked with Biggie, because under the original plans, where it was going to be Odyssey Jones in place of Biggie, I don't think this would have worked.
Well, that made it sound like they were going to choose Odyssey Jones over Biggie or something of that nature.
No, the plan was Odyssey was going to be the one who was going to be torn down, and then suddenly it was going to be Kofi and Xavier uniting. That's what I had read, and I'm glad that they didn't go that way.
Oh, see, from what I had read, it was going to be when they did this segment, Odyssey was going to be, they were still going to tear down Big E and officially name Odyssey the new member.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this was a swerve that we had speculated for months. Okay, when are we going to get the Xavier Woods heel turn? When are we going to get the Kofi heel turn? Which one's going to be the baby face?
I'm now interested in seeing Kofi as a babyface. I've seen Xavier as a babyface before, heel. I've seen Xavier as a heel before. I mean, Consequences Creed, he worked as a heel. When he first came to after breaking up with R-Truth, he did that little bit of a heel run there where he tried to convince Xavier and Big E to join him. And then we saw Kofi turn heel, but he wasn't really heel at that point because it was still like, it was babyface, kind of like, it was still kind of babyface, but douchebag babyface, I guess you could say.
Right. I mean, yes, we have seen Xavier Woods as a heel. For a lot of his time when I watched him as Consequences Creed, he was a babyface, but then he had a little bit of a heel run after turning on Jay Lethal.
Yeah, that's the run I'm talking about.
We've never really seen it here. We saw a little bit of the New Day as heels as a general group when they first debuted. Mm-hmm. But now, I mean, we said it last week again, like we had all lost any interest really in the New Day, and now all of a sudden here we are reinvested in them.
Yeah, I'll say it again. 4 or 5 months ago, we were tired of the New Day fighting the Creed brothers every week because that's what it seemed like they were doing,
right?
Or the Final Testament, but yeah, seeing this, it gives a bit of a freshness to the Raw Tag Team division.
It does, and I can't wait. Well, let's actually start with that because tonight we are going to get Kofi and Xavier speaking on what happened last week.
I can't wait to hear what they have to say. I really can't. I have no idea what they're going to say. I have no predictions on what they're going to talk about, but I'm very intrigued.
Yeah.
They're
going to stick it to the fans now. Since they stuck it with the Biggie, they have to come out, especially if Biggie's not going to be involved for a little while. I mean, it's going to be like, hey, we're going to put him on the back burner, let him surprise people when he comes back. But I think they're going to come out and, now just kind of talk bad to the fans and just kind of downgrade them to be pure heel.
Now, I know the Final Testament has their thing with the Wyatt Six later tonight, but I wonder if Karrion Kross gets at least a mention in this promo, because it was him that played the devil's advocate on those two men.
Right.
Yeah.
I could definitely see it. Now, we heard last week in that segment Big E say he was going to come back as their manager. Do we see maybe for the time being Big E find a new client to challenge the New Day?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, is who is that first tag team that's going to step up? And I'm trying to remember all the babyface tag teams, but the only babyface tag team I keep thinking of is the War Raiders. But I know they've got their troubles they've got their troubles with the tag team belts right now.
Right. I am thinking of one team, and it's one that I suggested this before, and it's one that, it's a match you don't really want to see again because they've been through it for about 5 years. But now we're getting that fresh spin on it. But what about the heel New Day versus the Usos?
That's not going to happen anytime soon because Jimmy's out with a broken toe.
Right.
So maybe, but it is possible that we do see Jay show up, although I'm pretty sure in order to sell the attack last week, they may want to keep Jay off TV tonight.
Right.
New Day's just going to probably try to say they're going to get back to the title picture. I think of who would stand up to them. Possibly Alpha Academy. Just because they're kind of like not doing anything right now, and maybe Big E will actually contribute to them.
Well, we have talked about the transfer window before.
Right.
What if it's the Street Profits?
That could be.
The Street Profits versus New Day would be a completely fresh tag team feud.
It would. It's a match we've only seen once before, and that was at Survivor Series in a brand supremacy match.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on now. We're going to go with right from the start here now for the preview. Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez. Bulkster, why don't you start us off?
I'm not sure how long this match will go. I don't know if we'll have it end in some kind of way where Liv is going to get involved. I don't see Dom getting involved. Dom's kind of kept his distance from, the ladies' matches lately since Raquel's came back. So I think we possibly will have Liv interfere in this in some way, which I feel I'm thinking Raquel will probably end up winning of some nature with the help of Liv.
Okay.
And this is where I'm going to counter Terry on the Bulkster on this one. Okay, so you know how you were saying Io Sky should have taken the win last week? And this is why I don't think she should have taken the win last week. Because we are going to see the shenanigans happen in this match. Rhea's going to get the win over Raquel because Rhea needs that revenge. She wants to kill Raquel right now. Liv Morgan is going to find her way to get involved, but so is Io Sky. Io Sky is going to come out. She's going to be the one to take down Liv. She's going to send Liv running. This is going to give the momentum back to Io going into the championship match this Saturday.
Yeah, I forgot all about Io.
Yeah. You took the words right out of my mouth. Now, unless Raquel tells Liv, stay in the back, let me do this one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I can honestly see Io accompanying Rhea to the ringside area.
Yeah.
And then you've got those two corner people who are going to face off this Saturday.
Yeah.
They're at ringside. I think this match should go to Raquel. I think she needs that real dominant one-on-one victory. And it won't be a squash by any means, but she needs that one-on-one victory since she's come back. Rhea really doesn't need the win and is still going to look strong.
But Rhea does need the win because if she beats Raquel, Now she can focus on Liv or Io, whomever becomes the women's champion after Saturday, because that is going to be her ultimate goal, is to get back that
Right.
women's championship.
Right, but I don't see Rhea getting that title match until WrestleMania. And I have Rhea actually winning the women's elimination chamber this year.
I have Rhea getting the shot on January 6th.
Really?
Yep. We need a couple of those big matches.
Right. So now we move on to our second triple threat match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra Valkyria versus Zelina Vega versus Ivy Nile.
I mean, this is going to be an obvious one. Lyra's going to take it.
Yeah.
I like Ivy. I want to like Zelina, but I can't. I don't know what it is about her. I like her better as a heel, but Ivy's not quite there yet. And I do want Ivy to get to that point, but Lyra's taking the win here.
Yeah.
And whoever wins here is facing Dakota Kai, right?
No.
I believe so.
No, they're on opposite sides of the bracket.
Oh, they are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they haven't really done too much with Lyra because of, just mixing her in with the tag teams and everything else. Yeah, it's possible. Like I said, I've kind of lost how good a wrestler she is because she hasn't been doing too much lately that I've noticed or seen. But like I said, this will be a good match to showcase her abilities. All of them. Ivy Nile as well. Ivy Nile and who was the other one?
Zelina Vega.
Zelina Vega, yeah. I'm gonna go with Zelina. I think Zelina Vega might pull this off because I think she's done a lot for WWE, and I think that she could be one of the contenders for the IC belt.
As much as I would love, and I'm a fan of Zelina Vega, I agree with Best. I think she's better as a heel. She seems more distracted by her heritage and cultural upbringing now and incorporating that into her entrance and her matches and her crying. But yes, Lyra takes this because I think that feud with American Made and the LWO basically cancels Zelina and Ivy out. I would love to see any one of these three women get the win. I do believe that Ivy is there and ready to get gold. Maybe as the second champion. But Lyra is taking this one. As we all know, I have Lyra versus Dakota in the finals.
Yeah, and I'm going to call it early. This is probably going to be the second best match of the night.
Okay. On to the Bulkster's favorite match of the night here, as we are going to see the Wyatt Six versus Final Testament and The Miz.
Bulkster's favorite match. This is going to be my favorite match too, dude.
Oh, and it's going to be crazy good. I didn't know if they were going to hold out till Saturday night's main event for this match. I think it would have been better if they did, but I'll take what I can get.
I honestly thought this was going to happen at Survivor Series. I thought we were going to get a Survivor Series match with these 8 men.
That would have been cool too. I'm interested in seeing what takes place in this match. I don't know if we're going to. It would be a crazy shock, but good for the Final Testament. If Final Testament goes over the Wyatt Six, to become more dominant. I'm not sure how long. If Miz is Miz like an official member of Final Testament? Is that what we're gathering, or is he just a?
That's what Karrion Kross has been kind of hinting at, them being partners and him being a part of the team. So
it's kind of cool, and hopefully Miz can help with bringing up the Final Testament, and maybe mentor Cross and how to project his thoughts to the crowd, which get lost in translation, and so that they don't go up very high. But hopefully, he can help with that and bring his fan base to help with that transition to help raise the Final Testament stock in WWE. Also, Wyatt Six, they've been sticking with the Final Testament's been kind of been getting involved in their business. But what happens after this? I mean, if they win, is it over, or are we eventually going to see a Miz versus Uncle Howdy match?
I think if the Final Testament were to take the win in this match, I feel like we got to continue with the Wyatt Six and them, so that the Wyatt Six can now get their win. And there's a part of me that wants to see it kind of continue solely because I kind of want to see Scarlett and Nikki Cross also go at it as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think we are going to see those two get involved in some shenanigans. But we also know that the Wyatt Six like to target people who have turned on their family. Could we see the New Day get involved here as that homage to Karrion Kross?
That's another thing I was thinking about too, because they've been taking out people who have betrayed others, So Karrion Kross right now, yes, because he was the devil's advocate as far as doing what he has done to the New Day. So yeah, I understand going after him. And then of course the Miz with what he did to R-Truth. So now it does kind of make sense to see the Wyatt Six go after the New Day for what they did to Big E.
Could we see any two members, let's say, of Final Testament get taken out before the show? And then you need to fill in.
Here's another scenario I thought about with the Wyatt Six too, because we just mentioned that they're going after people that they've betrayed. What if they go after the Judgment Day? Because they did turn on Rhea and Damian.
Absolutely. I think that's sort of going to be the next one for the Wyatt Six. And I think if we've seen chinks in the armor of the Judgment Day, I think that might be the feud to really set it off and end it.
I mean, I think it'd be kind of cool to see Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, or Eric Rowan, any one of them three pair up and win the tag team titles.
Right?
Yeah, could be interesting. It's
and for all we know, we don't know where Alexa Bliss has been, or even if she's going to show up and make her presence felt. And I know that a lot of people are.
We have lost audio on Mr. Best.
So yeah, but no, I think I'm not sure. Like I said, I was really stoked. I like their entrance. I like their feel for Wyatt Six. Hopefully this match with the Final Testament really grasp. It gets a lot of people's attention. I mean, and it's a good match and not just a mess.
Yes.
And that we can either move on or add to the story of these two teams.
Mr. Best?
It's going to be complete, utter mayhem. But as I was trying to say, we don't know. Like, I know a lot of people have been saying Alexa Bliss is going to be finding her way involved, which now that I'm thinking more about it, I think I might be okay with Alexa joining the Wyatt Six and then forming a tag team once again with Nikki Cross.
Right.
And I say once again because Nikki ASH and her were tag team champions at one time.
But she was also teased and somebody asked her if, or Karrion Kross, if they would be okay with Alexa joining the Final Testament.
Mm-hmm.
Again, yes, this match is going to be chaos. It is an 8-man tag, though those matches have gotten a lot smoother in this new era and under this new regime.
Yeah, but under the Wyatt Six, it's been chaos, and it's been fun chaos.
It has. Two more quick segments. We have Drew McIntyre is officially back on Raw. Do we hear from him tonight?
We have to. We have to hear like why he took out Sami Zayn. If he was in fact the one who took out Jay last week as well. We've got to figure out like why he's targeted them. And I know that's because maybe they had their relationship with CM Punk, but we need a deeper explanation as to why he did what he did.
Okay. And Hulkster, sorry, your thoughts?
Of course, we're gonna see him. I'm curious if it's a swerve of some kind. Like we're all supposed to think that McIntyre attacked Jay, and he also, he came out and attacked Sammy. Wonder if Drew's not alone, and who would be a partner for him, or a sidekick for him, but I'm thinking somebody from NXT, if anything. Nobody from the roster. It's somebody that has, I don't know. I just have a feeling that maybe it's going to be a swerve, and it's going to be a helper.
Okay, I like it.
And he's not talking about Swerve Strickland.
No, I know. And we're also going to get Seth freaking Rollins appearing after calling out CM Punk last week. Are we going to see another confrontation, or is CM Punk going to take the week off?
I think this is a week that Punk takes off, to be honest with you. Sorry if you heard that. That was somebody trying to rip through the snow out here. I feel like we're going to get Seth obviously talking about CM Punk and maybe trying to clear his name, because I get a feeling that Sammy may blame Seth for having an affiliation with Drew. Or even Jay, for that matter. We'll have to wait and see what's said there,
Okay.
I think we're going to have probably Seth be there, of course. If we do get a CM Punk thing, might be on the Tron. Like him from an undisclosed location, or backstage, or something.
At home on his couch or something.
Right. Okay. Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining me. We are just about out of time here. Best, I know you and I have to get over to Turnbuckle Studios to do the Raw Patrol.
Yep.
So, Mr. Bulkster, where am I here?
You can find me here.
Yes, we can find you where, my friend?
You can find me basically here. Like I said, I do have YouTube. You can find me at the Bulkster Show, and on TikTok I have the Bulkster Show. I'm kind of like just laying low. If I feel like I want to make some content, I do. But like I said, I try to contribute to the show here by giving them all the reviews, topics, and the preview topics weekly. And if I can make it online, great. For the show, if not, that's fine.
And again, it cannot be stated enough how much we here at the Locker Room appreciate everything you do for us behind the scenes. We appreciate you being here, taking the time out of your schedule tonight to join us live. Thank you very much, Bulkster. I'm going to shout out Bubba Duke here because he was unavailable due to work. So you can find him on YouTube at Bubba OMD and on Twitch at The Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke. I will pass it now over to Mr. Best. Where can the people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at my link tree, which is linktr.ee/Chris_best83. You can find me in about 5 minutes doing the Raw Patrol over on the Turnbuckle Studios YouTube page. Bulkster, you may want to tune in Wednesday night as well. I'm going to just give a little shill because we are doing the Final Fantasy VII remake, the first one. So you may want to tune in and watch that as well.
All right.
Okay, and you can find me, people, at my link tree, linktr.ee/OMD show. Visually, you can catch me with Mr. Best in about 5 minutes' time over at Turnbuckle Studios with the Raw Patrol. And tomorrow night again with Mr. Best at Turnbuckle Studios with Turnbuckle Talk, the flagship show. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. From all of us here at the Locker Room, the Boar's Nest, and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, to those of you out there, wherever you are, good night, good luck. We out.